Hi there, thanks for tuning in to Crystal Hoyt Beauty. Today's look is going to be a peachy gold eye with a bold coral lip. I posted this look on my Instagram and social media accounts recently and got a lot of response to it. I had been using the Sweet Peach palette and I kind of put this look together all around the peach collection from Too Faced that came out recently, and then that palette sold out and people lost their minds. So I created this look, which is very similar, almost identical, using the recently re-released Stardust palette from Too Faced, which is one of my favorite palettes that they've created this year. We're going to start with a primer on the eye. I'm using the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. Now I'm going in with Chandelier from the palette, which is a matte cream shade that I'm going to be using to highlight my brow bone. Just sweeping it underneath with a loose ponytail brush and blending it out. This is one of my favorite shades for a transition, a really pretty warm peachy shade that I'm taking above the crease, working in small circles and really blending and buffing this out. Now using the same shade, I'm going in with my MAC pencil brush and I'm going to really use this to exaggerate the outside corner of my eye and exaggerate the shape of my eye here. Switching now to an angle brush, I'm going to go into a really rich terracotta shade. And I'm going to work this over most of my lid and into the crease, and then switching brushes back to my blending brush, I'm going to really blend this one out. Now switching back to my pencil brush in that same shade, I'm going to go just under the center of my lash line, and I'm going to use this to give me more of a doe-eyed effect and really widen and open my eye. Now I'm going to be mixing these two shades. It's a gold with a light pink color because I want to cut a little bit of the gold on this all over application of my lid here to make it more of a champagne tone. And what I'm doing is I'm really pressing this onto the lid here to concentrate that color to brighten, taking it over most of the lid up to the crease, and then here I'm switching brushes to a more pointed, smaller brush where I can really take it on the inside of that tear duct. Now switching to an angle brush, I'm going to be using a dark chocolate brown with a little bit of shimmer right on the outside corner of the eye and slightly into the crease. Then I'm going to switch brushes into my blending brush here to really buff this out. Now I'm going to be using a flesh tone pencil that I'm going to take to the waterline on the inside of my eye. This is going to make my eye appear much larger, extending the white of the eye, but without using a white pencil that makes it look really stark. This is going to be much softer. Switching to a waterproof black pencil, I'm going to come in the waterline on top, and I want to darken all the way against my lashes here to cover up that flesh tone that naturally occurs in your waterline. That way when I apply my liquid there, it all becomes seamless. Okay, using my black matte liquid liner, I'm going to be coming in right against my lash line, creating my cat liner. If you're going to do a true cat liner, you really want to work it more in an upside down triangle here on the corner of the eye, and then go back in and fill in your triangle with the rest of your liquid, as opposed to just doing a swoop on the outside corner. Then I'm coming back in here and finishing my line on the inside corner of my lid. Okay, using a very volumizing mascara, I'm just going to be doing one coat of mascara on top and 2 to 3 coats on the bottom, because I'm going to be going back on top with my very dramatic Grand Glamour lashes here, just on that top lash line. And one reason I love this palette is it comes with a matte black shadow, which is great for going back over that glue line with a flat brush just to cover up the shininess of the glue line. Now, if you prefer the eye to stay more champagne colored like this, you can leave it just as is and you're finished. But if you want it to be a little bit more gold, which I preferred here, I'm taking the Shadow Insurance from Too Faced, which is a really sheer eye primer on the inside corner of the eye, and then I'm going back over it with a different brush using Gold Nugget from the palette, which is a metallic gold, just on this inside area, and then really blending that out. And my eye look is now complete. Okay, I've already prepped my complexion here, so I used my Tom Ford Illuminating Primer. I used my Laura Mercier Foundation Flawless Fluide in Ecru, and then I used my BH Cosmetics Foundation and Concealer Palette just to spot cover anywhere that I needed additional concealing and a little extra under the eyes. And then I used the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder to set. The full look on this is super sculpted, so I used the Too Faced Cocoa Contour palette. I'm starting with a really deep shade here. So very sparingly, you'll notice I'm going to actually be using the little angle brush that comes with the palette, and I'm tapping that off on my wrist before I actually touch my face with it, so it goes on very evenly since this powder is very deep. Under the cheekbone, I'm going to also then take this underneath the chin, jawline. I'm gonna work up onto the chin just a little bit to sculpt, a little bit on the hairline, forehead area, and then a little bit to the side of the nose. I switched brushes here with something that's a little bit more pointed so I could get a little bit more definition and carry this up through the rim of the nose to that eye contour there. For time's sake, I'm only demoing this on one side of my face, but you'll obviously repeat all of these steps on the other side. Here I'm switching to the matte highlighting shade, which is a buttery golden shade, lighter than my skin tone, that I'm going to be using with a contouring brush, which is actually great for highlighting too in powders. It's going to pack it on a little bit more on the top of the cheekbone. I'm going to use it center of the nose, center of the forehead. I'm going to use it just under the cheekbone and then very lightly near my laugh lines and under the chin. And most importantly with this, now I'm going to really blend this. I'm using a very firm brush that has no product on it, and I noticed that it wasn't small enough for my nose, so I switched back to my contouring brush here and really am using this to buff that out so that I don't have any seams or lines, even though I'm still very sculpted. Now I want to make sure that I have a nice, natural, warm, bronzed glow, and I'm going to use a bronzer that has a little bit of sheen or shimmer to it with a bigger brush more broadly throughout the areas that I've already contoured my face. And I'm using this just to really add a sun-kissed, warm glow all over. I'm taking it down to my neck, down to my chest, and décolleté as well. Here I'm going back with a clean powder brush just to really buff all this together. We've got a lot of different contours and bronzers and warm shades going on, so I just want to make sure they're all seamless and blended together. This is a fan brush that I'm using here to highlight using a shimmery gold right on top of my cheekbones. I'm going to use it down the center of my nose. I'm going to pop a little bit above my eyebrows, my lip, just areas that I want to bounce the light. And you're just going to finish with cheeks and lips. I used a really pretty sparkly peach for the cheeks and then finish with a matte bold coral lip. And now we're all done. I really hope you enjoyed this look. I've loved it. I've actually worn it several times since I made this video, so I hope you enjoy it too. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please make sure and comment, let me know what you thought of the video, and subscribe so that you can come back for more quick and to the point tutorials. And you can also follow me for more makeup inspiration on Instagram at Crystal Hoy Beauty.